This is Tabernacle of the Bridegroom, Asteroid Codes. Here we go, family. Asteroid Hebei, marking Saturn in the fish. Let's dig in. We're taking a step back. We're looking at Asteroid Hebei, the moon, and minor planet or asteroid Ceres, all in Aquarius 3/27/2025. The reason I'm taking a step back is what I'm about to show you, I believe, is some very, very important star language. And it's important to get our bearings, understand where this asteroid has just come from and where it's going. And we want to be able to see the transitions because it helps with the language and understanding what these asteroids and all these alignments are speaking to us in the heavens. So I had to take a step back so that we can see this transition. Let's go ahead and quickly we're going to go to the codes first. I'm doing this brand new way of breaking these down. I decided today that I'm going to take each asteroid and I'm going to do a special report when it's having any kind of alignment. This one, and the reason I'm doing these is because of this asteroid. This happens to be the first one in my list of all of my asteroid codes, and there's so many now. It's gotten to a point where it's almost impossible for me to um, go through the list each month and try to track where all of them are. I still, because of me just getting set up here and having to work so much, I have not had the time to deal with all the computer issues and rectify the things that are wrong. I still can't even take images of these constellations and post my findings yet because I did something wrong when I set up my recording software. I did something, so I need to rectify that, and then that may be the reason that I'm unable to load the stellarium. I cannot get the stellarium on here, so I've got a couple of hurdles that I have to jump over before I can really use the tools that Stellarium offers. The web version, the reason I use it is in the beginning I decided that I wanted to make it really simple to show people how to use this software and how easy it was to just jump on and use these tools. If you go back to my cottage culture channel, multiple times I'd show some simple ways to jump around and use the tools. I'll probably end up doing an instruction video if needed. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out. If you're somebody who wants to just learn the basics of how to get through using this Stellarium web, just go ahead and put in the comments that you're interested in an instruction video, and I can do that. It's pretty simple. Um, but sometimes these things are confusing for people, and they can't quite uh, get started correctly without some basic instructions, so I can help out there. So what we're looking at here is asteroid Hebei, the moon, Ceres in Aquarius. And the reason I'm showing this is because this is a perfect starting point for this mission. I'm just going to call it a mission. If you notice when we go through this, how Hebe and Ceres seem to move together, and that was a great sign to me. And the reason I'm mentioning it is because it's important to understand that there are a lot of these heavenly bodies that seem to transition together through the heavens. And once you dig in and you get the codes and you understand more of the information about what you're looking at, a lot of these asteroids or comets or planets, what we would call wandering stars, they they're given specific names so we can do the gematria or the breakdown of the encoded language there. But we can also go and look at um, information about when they were found. There's a lot of ways to do star research with these things because I think all of that ties in with what we're looking at. Even the names, like this is a Hebei is a province in northern China. It's tied to the Great Wall of China. There's all kinds of things there that you could go into and really explore. I'm sure that there's Bible code that you could find involved in all of these asteroids, comets, and planets. And so, what we're doing is we're going to watch the transition of this asteroid with Ceres, and we're going to be looking at how Hebe, I believe, is marking Saturn. But the first thing, again, we're going to do is we're going to go to the codes. And what I found is between June 11th and October 18th that this asteroid seems to mark Saturn in the fish. This is the Eastern Fish, and this is in the constellation of Pisces, and we're going to go over that in this breakdown. But I want to show these codes first because this is really, I'm taking a slightly different approach here with these asteroid code videos than our Maseroth decode, where we're really looking at what the entire Maseroth is speaking and how all of these different connections are giving us a very specific message. This is really going to be more focused about these individual signs instead of the whole grand picture. So this is this is sort of a focus point, and I'm going to focus in on the codes and how I believe those are connected to these signs. So we're going to start here. Asteroid Hebe equals perfected bride. And this is what really got me because we've been looking at the signs for the escape of the bride for years now. We've been looking at all of these signs stacking up, just leading us to the culmination of all of this that we're all looking for. And what is that? That the kingdom of God and the grand rising and see gates be open and Jesus codes and the gatekeepers and the master code. And the end is here. And of course, Ophiuchus is involved. And what is Ophiuchus? It's Archangel Michael. And if you look at Ophiuchus, it's Michael wrestling the serpent or the dragon. And what is this all about? It's recompense for the apocalypses that the fallen angels are creating. And where are they? They're under the sea. This is a Trojan war. And that's why there's war in heaven. And 119 is the last day of Hanukkah on the Maseroth calendar. And all of this is about the perfected bride. And we've had to go through essentially hell to get to this point. And all of this is part of the plan, and we need to be able to see these codes when we're looking at these things in the heavens. I believe it adds a grand amount of detail and it allows us to see the bigger picture. So, what we're looking at now is all of these heavenly bodies stacked up in this eastern fish. At this time, the Hebei is here in Aquarius with the moon and with the judge of the marriage, Ceres. So let's watch this transition. And we're just going to watch Hebei. Now we know Hebei's now in. Let's go in and we can watch this closer. It looks like on 4/16, April the 16th, we have Hebei making its alignment with the water stream. And I think that's the last time I did a report. Actually, I think it was when it was aligned with Aquarius. And I think I missed this water stream possibly, but I'd have to go back and look. And then we have this transition where on 6/11, we have Hebei marking Saturn. And this transition happens between the end of the 10th and the 11th. You can see Hebei comes along almost at the end of the day on the 10th. It passes, and we can watch this transition here. Yeah, so it's at the end of the day of the 10th and the beginning of the day on the 11th. It's when Hebei passes Saturn, and we can see that here. And now I want you to watch this transition. Let's just keep our eye. Now Hebei goes into retrograde. So we have on 6/11, it makes the first marking of Saturn. And I want to take a step back and I want to look at something quickly. Um, this is the constellation of Cetus, the whale. Okay, this is the whale sign in the heavens. This is our Jonah, the whale. And what we have is Saturn sitting at the tail of Cetus, but it's actually in the constellation of Pisces in the what we would call the eastern fish. We have the northern fish, the eastern fish, and then Piscis australis is the southern fish. So we have three fish. And Saturn is in the eastern fish, the one that is pointed back towards Aquarius. So we have a very important sign of Saturn being in the eastern fish at the tail of Cetus. And then what we're going to do is I want to focus in on this line here. Hold on. Okay, so we have this constellation of Cetus. And what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a look at this entry point, this line of entry into the constellation. And we're going to use this star 10 Ceti as our marking point. And I want everybody to pay attention to, because we cannot keep these lines and mark when these transitions happen. So if we back up, you can see the location of 10 Ceti on the whale's tail. And the reason I'm pointing that out is this is going to be the location that we're watching for as we see Hebei go across this line. And I believe this is very, very important. And I'm going to be bringing forth the rest of the details of why this is so important in our Mazzaroth decode. But the sign is coming up in 4 days. It begins, and on the fifth day, that's when everything really, really kicks in. But I need to be able to show everybody this setup. So here we go. It's 10 Ceti. If you're on Stellarium, you can go look at the line. If you're using Stellarium uh, downloaded, then you can just go ahead and open up your Stellarium, get your Cetus borders, and watch the transition of this asteroid Hebei, Hebei, not the Hebei, which is Hebei. We'll be doing a report on that too. That's coming up. But we have Hebei, and this is important for us to go watch because remember we're looking at 610, 611, and then we we get to this point here, let's scroll in and we can see 10 SETI here. And if we go to 710, then we've passed the line because the line, let's go ahead and go back. We can see this location. And now if we move and we can see this line, then it's on the 9th and the 10th that Hebei goes across this line. So let's scroll in and we can see this line with 10 SETI. And then now let's look at Hebei. And it's just making its transition across on the 9th and the 10th. So you can go back and check the exact time if you have Stellarium downloaded. I don't, so I'm going to get as close as I can. I'm going to say the 9th and the 10th. We're looking at Hebei crossing into the constellation of Cetus. And this is going to become hugely important when you incorporate this with the rest of the Mazzaroth decodes that I'm going to be breaking down. So I just wanted to mark this on 7-9. It looks like Hebei enters into Cetus. And then if we continue to watch, then it comes, it goes into retrograde. And now we're moving backwards again towards Saturn. And if we come, let's get in closer. So here we're looking at 10 SETI again, and now we're transitioning past. So here we go. On 8/24, Hebei exits Cetus. So from 7-9 until 8/24, Hebei is in the constellation of Cetus, marking the great whale. And now I want you to watch how Hebei transitions back, and let's just move back for a bit. And I want you to pay attention to how Hebei and Ceres move together in the heavens. So let's just look at this. Okay, we're going to move forward and look at the transition of Hebei and Ceres. Okay, Hebei makes its retrograde, and so does Ceres almost at the same time. Now we have the alignment here of Hebei passing 10 SETI. And now let's go ahead and back it up and watch the transition of this asteroid right back to Saturn. So now we're here at 10/18, and we have the second marking of Saturn by this asteroid Hebei. And we know that Ceres is the wedding jet. This is a wedding sign. We can go back and we can look at these codes. We're looking at this perfected bride. This is all about the wedding. It's marked in the Eastern fish, which is a great warning sign. This is another warning sign. We're looking at it being in under the ecliptic with Neptune and Saturn. These are great signs in the heavens, and the codes sort of give us everything that we need to see about what is being spoken. And I believe this is really, really important when it comes to the gates. We're looking at October the 20th in the evening being Mazzaroth New Year. And there are a lot of people saying that this coming up October, that it's supposed to be the Jubilee, and based on the ancient, uh, all the ancient calendars, not any of the modern calendars. And that really stands out to me. I've been doing a lot of research into how all of this stuff over the years, not just these individual signs, but I've been watching this for a very long time, and I've been seeing these repeating patterns. And I believe that what we're seeing is the culmination of all of these heavenly patterns. And we can see how Ceres is involved in this sign. And this, again, can be looked at as the judge of the marriage or the witness of the marriage. And then we have Hebe as the perfected bride. And we're in the underworld here. This is the Neptune and Saturn. Neptune is, again, if we're looking at the Anunnaki and the language that this is all just pointing us to, this is Enki. And then Saturn is Enlil. And we're looking at the two Anunnaki ruling brothers in the heavens, and we're looking at them from the perspective that they are, which is the underworld. And we're getting these signs in the underworld. We're being pointed to a very specific message and a very specific topic. We're looking at the fallen angels under the sea, the Trojan War, the war in heaven. This is all pointing to what we can see in the heavens. And that's this language. And we can even look into, I really didn't want to have to go into all of this, but we can just see it. Mars and Mercury right in the altar, and Vesta, the virgins is in the hoopah. We're looking at incredible language coming up right before the Mazzaroth New Year. And this is all tied to these signs of Hebe. And this is a special report marking Saturn in the fish. And this is a great warning in the heavens. It's a sign for us to be able to see it's a dual sign. It's a sign to the bride, but it's also a great warning because the Eastern fish is headed back towards the water stream, which takes it into the underworld.